Today we're going to learn lattice multiplication. This is a method used often to multiply large numbers together. To begin lattice multiplication, you draw a grid. And once you have drawn that grid, you will then line your factors up for your multiplication problem. The grid that we have here is a 3 by 3 grid. We have 3 rows and we have 3 columns because we will be multiplying a 3-digit number times another 3-digit number. Once we've established our grid system and we know how many factors we have, then we are going to take each rectangle and we are going to divide it on or along a diagonal. Because as we multiply, we want to separate the answers we are getting into tens and ones. So this is an easy way to keep those numbers organized by dividing the rectangles along the diagonals. Now that we have gotten that done, it's time to write our factors. We're going to multiply the number 432 times 165. So we line our first 3-digit number along the columns, and our second 3-digit number we line up along the rows here. And then once we have those factors lined up, we can now start our multiplication. So we'll begin over on the right side of our grid, and we're going to multiply 2 times 1. And our answer will be 0 tens and 2 ones. Then we move to multiply 2 times 6. And our number is 110 and 2 ones. Next, we multiply 2 times 5, and we write our answer in this grid, 110 and 0 ones. Now we've completed the multiplication with our 2. Now let's move to our next column and multiply. We begin here, 3 times 1, which will give us 3, 0 tens and 3 ones. And then we have 3 times 6, which will give us 18, 110 and 8 ones. And finally, we have 3 times 5, which will give us 15, 110 and 5 ones. And then we move to our final column and we'll multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, 0 tens, 4 ones. 4 times 6, which is 24, 2 tens and 4 ones. And finally, we multiply 4 times 5, and we get 20, 2 tens and 0 ones. Now that we have completed that, we need to add up all of our multiplication that we have done. So we're going to begin with the diagonals. So we will start here at our first diagonal, and we see there's a 0 there. So we write a 0. Then we move to our next diagonal, and we see 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 5 is 8. We move to our next diagonal, and we see 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 8, 11, plus 1 more is 12. Now, just as in the standard algorithm of multiplication, you cannot have 2 digits in one place value. So we put our 2 here and we regroup and carry our 1 to the next place value. And then we are ready to add up this column. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Again, we will regroup and add the next column. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And then in our final column here, you'll see that we have a 0. And we do not need to write that 0 since it is at the beginning of the number. When you are getting ready to find your final answer, you read the problem from left to right. So we begin here in our 10,000 column, and we have 71,280 as our final answer. In order to check yourself to make sure that you did your lattice multiplication correctly, you could try the standard algorithm of multiplication, or you might try the inverse operation of division to check your answer. I hope you enjoyed learning about lattice multiplication, and I hope you'll try it sometime when you are multiplying larger numbers.